Hey everybody, I'm back. Okay, this is part two of things to consider and or do before you decide to move out of the United States and Canada and things of that sort. So we did our first six things already in the previous video, and that's part one. You can take a look at that. So this video, excuse me, got coal in my eye. Anyway, cut it out. This one is starting from number seven. Number seven. Get yourself healthier first. And let me tell you what I mean by that. There are some countries, and more jumping on this bandwagon, where they are denying visa extensions for people from the United States and Canada and the UK that are not healthy. When I was living in Ecuador, there were a lot, it attracted a large retirement group from the United States. Lots and lots of retired people came. At the time when I moved there, I was in my late 40s, about to turn 50. And my husband and I were the youngest ones there. Everyone we met at the time was at least 70 and older. And their health was really not good. But the fresh food, non-GMO food, the air, the environment, and even the healthcare seemed to help, and a lot of people became healthier. The thing is, it became too taxing for the Ecuadorian healthcare system, and they were like, yo, this is crazy. We thought y'all were healthier than us. Y'all got more than us. Why y'all coming here taxing our system? And the things were really cheap healthcare-wise. So they started a situation where when you went to extend your visa so that you can stay longer in the country, they were checking your health. And if you had blood pressure and high cholesterol and diabetes and gout and all these things that a lot of Americans have, they would deny your visas. I had a friend who lived there, older white couple. We used to go visit them. The wife enjoyed the weather of Costa Rica better, and the husband enjoyed the weather of Ecuador better. So 6 months out of the year, they would stay in Ecuador, and the other 6 they would stay in Costa Rica. When they started this new rule, he got banned from Ecuador for over a year. He had bought a condo, and they would not let him back in there until it was like, you're too sick. So they made a lot of people leave. Australia checks that also, and there are other countries that are doing that. They check to see your health. And they're like, you're a little too unhealthy. We don't need that here. Just go on with yourself. So they send your booties back, or they won't even extend your visa. Visiting is different. I mean, when you want to extend the visa to stay longer, it's longer than a visit now. I'm not just a tourist. I want to stay a little bit longer. Okay, that's number 7. So work on getting your health together a bit more, because a lot of these places are starting to realize the people in the United States are not as healthy as they thought we were. Number 8, I would suggest join a Facebook group for that country that you're planning to go to. There are lots of Facebook groups for expat groups for every country, Thailand, Belize, wherever. I would suggest you join one because you get to ask questions. You get to go in and ask questions about what's going on or things you need to consider. And for those people of color, what I would suggest also, there's also Black versions of those same groups. I would suggest you do that also, because there's certain questions we have that Caucasian people that just wouldn't be able to answer. You know, like I remember one time I went on this one of the sites, and there was this Black girl. It was just a general expat site, and a Black girl was on there asking for. She said, "Hey, I need to know where I can get some shea butter." And the majority of the people on there were Caucasian, and nobody answered her. They're like, what the freak? So I went and I was like, hey. I said, that's a us question. So I told her where to get shea butter. I actually had some. I was selling it. You know, there are certain things that we need, and certain questions that of things that we experience that people of Caucasian don't experience that we need to ask each other. Then there's certain questions that's just general questions that everybody, would need to know. So I would definitely suggest, if you are a person of color, find a group that also is a Black version or something like that, so that you can ask the questions of Can I find this there for my hair? Do they have this for my skin? Do we experience this? Is this group of people racist against us? Stuff like that. Okay, that's definitely one thing. You get to ask real life questions and make friends with some of the people. Made friends with people on those groups, and I've let them come down, visit with me, and show them the ropes and help them decide whether they wanted to stay in that country or not. I would also suggest the next one, number 9, visit the country. A lot of people just up and move. I really suggest take a month and come visit. Visit the country you're talking about. Just take a visit. 10, learn the visa renewal laws. Each country is different. Like, for example, in Ecuador, first 3 months you come there from the States, you don't pay any visa. But then after that, every 3 months you pay about, I think it was $450, almost $500 to stay in the country every 3 months. And then at that time, they did not have an all year round visa. So then when you hit the 9th month, after you did 9 months, you had to leave the country and go get a visa somewhere else. That was a hassle. I don't know if they've changed that since 2017. That's when I left Ecuador. But they did have that, and that was quite annoying. Belize, for example, that's where I'm at right now. Prior to COVID, you paid $25 every month. And then after the 6th month, you paid $50 until a year. After a year, you can apply for residency, and you don't pay that no more. As of COVID, it went to $100 every month for the whole year. So it's a bit more if you're coming with a family. If you're coming with children to Belize and things like that, it's better just to register them in school. If you register them in school, you pay $100 for the entire year for the child's visa. And then you just pay for the adult visas per month. And the good thing about Belize is after a year, you can just apply for residency. Other places, they have different laws and things like that. So find out what the residency rules are, what it's going to cost you, what are your options, what can you do, okay? And 11, do not expect to get jobs. Stop coming here. People come to these countries expecting to get jobs. Most of these countries, if you're moving to like a European country or something like that, yes, you probably can go and get a job. When you're moving to countries like in Asia and, like I said, South America, Central America, African countries, you need to come there with your entrepreneurial hat. They're not open and they're not welcoming to you coming and taking jobs from the local people there. But you can start a business there. Or if you have a fixed income, they welcome you like crazy. But those countries, it's better you come and you start a business. And a lot of the times, there's plenty of lucrative businesses that you can get started in these countries. Just gotta kind of take a look and see what's missing, what's lacking, and start a business there. And 12. This one is for people of color, for black folks. The thing is, one thing I learned when I moved outside of the country, there's so much racism in America and things that are stacked up against us and that we have to deal with, and you just get overwhelming, that we're walking around like, with this armor on all the time. And what I learned as I moved to these other countries, I wasn't met with that, but I came in with, like, oh yeah, I bet you did that because I was like, and it wasn't that. So when you come to these other countries, especially in South America, Central America, most of these people are us. They look just like us anyway. A lot of people, anyway. But the racism is not like it is in the States. And so you get to relax some of that. You have to learn to relax it. I had to learn to relax it. I would get offended and I realized, oh, shoot, that's just a culture. Certain things are cultural. I thought it was a racist thing and it's not. So, for people of color, take that into consideration. Now, 13, get to know the locals, okay? When you move somewhere, get to know the locals. Don't isolate yourself. Don't do that U.S. isolation thing. That does not work in these countries. But get to know the locals and befriend them and find out where to do what. And let them ask for prices for you, because when you ask, as soon as you hear your accent, the price goes up. And that's not just outside of these countries. That's everywhere. Even in New York, I'm a New Yorker. And whenever they would think that you were from another state or country, the price would jack that price up. So many times I had to go, hey, I'm a New Yorker. So that's a tourist thing. They do that everywhere in the world. So I don't even bother. I just be like, you know what? Look, I'm not from here. I let my local friends ask the questions for me, so I don't have to worry about getting jacked up with a ridiculous price. Bring your own electronics also, except for printers. Printers, I would buy them where you are because printers are local. And when you buy the printers in the States, you can't get the ink there. If you buy HP in that country you're in, you'll find the ink there. If you buy the HP printer in the States, you cannot get the ink unless you're in the States, and that becomes a hassle. And that's the stuff I want to help you guys out with. I hope that helped. Bye.